Welcome back to the Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast, a show all about inspiring smart, busy women to put their happiness at the top of their to-do list. Join your host and life coach, Dion Thompson, as she chats with amazing women who have figured out how to make their happiness a priority, and more importantly, what it's really like to go from hot mess to awesomeness. And now, on with the show.
Welcome everyone to the Hot Mess to Awesomeness podcast. I am your host and life coach, Dion Thompson, and I am here today with Rhonda Armour, and we had some serious fun in our dance party today. So,
still sweating.
Yeah, we are recording this the end of March, almost the end of March, and the sun is just starting to make its way out this week. And the songs that you chose really brought me back to like, oh, I'm just chilling out by the campfire, and I'm just gonna rock out with some like uber 80s rock journey. Yeah. Yes, it was brilliant. And it was just
so
like
much
hanging
fun
out with my bestie, and there
Awesome.
we were. It was awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.
So Rhonda, I'm super excited to have you on the podcast today. We had a chance to chat. Oh my goodness, it feels like forever ago, but I think it was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And instantly fell in love with you and your energy and your mission and your passion for supporting women. I love your no bullshit, call people on their shit. Because if you know me, I'm a big fan of calling people on their shit. And so I'm really excited to hear about your journey, because I know that it started with you calling yourself on your own shit. So introduce yourself and let us know what happened for you that brought you on this path where you went from sort of a big corporate space to teaching Zumba classes and so on and so forth, and now have this thriving business in fitness and nutrition. So tell us all about it.
There's a story. So I am a personal trainer, a nutrition coach, and life coach, which is kind of awesome because I get to hit on all the different facets of health and self-care and wellness, right? It's not just one piece of the puzzle. So I can draw in all areas when I'm working with my clients. And I kind of say that, I stand for real life and real coaching, because like you said, it's just, we all have our unique lifestyle and we can't be fit into this little box, which is why diets and things like that don't work. And so we have to have custom strategies that are in place for each unique woman that I work with. Right. And the real coaching is, you're right, the no bullshit. It's like, these are the issues, these are the obstacles. How do we get over, around, through those obstacles? And enough with the excuses. Let's just, like, once and for all, let's figure this out, right? Kind of end the struggle. So I have a really cool job. I'm really, really lucky and work with some amazing women. But it took me a long time to get here, and my past has really shaped who I am as a coach. And I think what allows me to be a good coach, because, so like you said, I was in the corporate world, but I think, I've had a lot of time to reflect recently on how I got to where I am and why I ended up here. Because this is not the path. Like when I was in high school, I was going to be an accountant in a fancy corporate building. Like, I hate math. Why would I be an accountant? Yeah, totally. Ridiculous, right? So, and then now I'm like a nutrition and life coach and personal trainer. So bizarre, right? Totally opposite ends of the spectrum. But I think it started when I was a kid. I had some pretty severe back issues when I was a kid. I'm not sure if I shared this with you when we chatted, but so had some chronic pain. And chronic being, it was always there, doesn't go away. And when you're so young, you don't really know how to process all that. So that started, and of course, back then, medicine isn't what it is today. So I was diagnosed when I was 5 with scoliosis, which basically means my spine is curved. And most people's are, except mine was getting worse and worse and worse and worse as I grew, and nothing could be done about it, really. Like, tried a few different things here and there, but no one really knew what to do. In conjunction with that, although I feel like in hindsight, it was kind of connected to that, I would always have this sensation when I was a kid. Like, I remember being like 8, 9, 10, always wanting to cry, like just randomly. And I'd say to my mom, I just want to cry. I don't know what. And she was concerned, and we took to the doctor. Turned out it was like some mental health issues, right? So between the back issues and then now the mental health issues with some depression, when again, as a child, you don't know how to process either one of those things. So fast forward, right, to me being into the corporate world. Now I'm like, I've gone through school. I'm now working in this corporate world. I'm working my way up the ladder. Seems all great. This is yay, yay, me. I want to be here, but I don't really want to be here. Then I got married, had my first daughter, and wow, was like slammed hard into a wall of postpartum depression. Like, had no idea this was coming, didn't want my kid, take her away from me. This is crazy. What have I signed up for? Not a good place to be at all. And then, of course, so medication, all those good things helped me sort of come out of that, but knew I'd have to deal with it for the rest of my life, likely. And I still am, ups and downs, for sure. But when I went back to work, then I really recognized that this was not a good fit for me, because now I actually loved my daughter. I no longer wanted to give her away. I thought, what am I doing? Like, I'm in this job working like 12-hour days, never get to see my kid. I'm not passionate about any of this anymore. This is not where I want to be. That went on for quite a few years till I had my second daughter. Wham, postpartum depression again, not quite as bad, but really reinforced that this is not my calling. Being stuck behind a desk is not where I was meant to be. And let me tell you, I had a great job and like really good paying, full benefits, bonuses, recognition, all the stuff you kind of dream of having, except this wasn't my dream, right? And so thankfully I have a pretty cool husband that was on board with me taking off out of the corporate world with a stable job, and decided I was going to teach a boot camp class once a week. And that was somehow going to pay my bills, because I was a client at boot camp and thought, no, I want to teach this. Like, I've always been super active and, sporty and all those good things. So I was like, I want to do this. So I got my certification and, I started teaching once a week, these awesome groups of women, and was inspired, but it's like, well, what do I do with this? Right. Yay, I'm teaching, and I got to teach a bit more and more and more. And anyways, it really progressed into, no, I'm doing this. Like, now I'm going to do personal training and the one-on-one. And now I need to involve the nutrition side of things, because this is not just about me kicking ladies' asses every week and then walking away, go, good luck. Right. It's, no, we need to dive into the issues. And again, it's not about, for me, not just about what you put in your mouth. It's about your exercise, your stress management, your sleep, everything. And of course, because I struggled my whole life and still do with depression, along with that came all those ridiculous fad diets that are out there, when I was too young and stupid to recognize that they were so bad for me, because I was so desperate to, be thin, right? So that mindset piece I get when I'm working with my clients, because I've been there, and I still struggle with what I think is food addiction and poor body image and lack of confidence, but it makes me relatable, and it makes me get where my clients are, and the story that they have is often very in line with the story that I have. But doesn't mean we can't change the story, right? Which is cool. So so that's kind of my path of where I've come and from, but I didn't recognize the young piece, like the back issues, and that I still struggle with. My back issues never got fixed. They, I still, some days can't get out of bed. But I've pushed through, right? And the depression and the career change and all of that, it's not a pity party at all. That's not what it's meant to be. But it's a learning opportunity, right? To go like, wow, holy shit, like, look where I am right now, right? Like, this is pretty cool that I've totally changed my world, even though some things were kind of pushing back on me. So that's where I'm at today. So pretty awesome.
That is a fantastic story. And there's a, no big surprise. There's a lot of parallels to different parts of my story and a lot of the women that I see as well. I'm wondering, having also suffered from postpartum issues and then return to work and then have to stay. So tell me a little bit about that time period where your awareness started to really, like, you started to become really aware that you're like the square peg in the round hole. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you can't just magically poof and change. So you still have to live inside of that. What was that like? And what did you do or turn to, or how did you stay grounded so that you can continue? I mean, again, second child and more information and more knowledge and more awareness, and then eventually make a shift. But how did you stay connected to you? You know, you find yourself at the other side of, the postpartum. And, my experience was like, kids don't give a shit. They don't care about your problems. They really don't.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so the big lesson that I learned was, once I sorted out my issue, I went, oh, there's a different me here. Like, I'm never going to be the woman I was pre-kid, because that can't happen.
Right.
And so, but this person in here, she's all right. Like, I think maybe I want to get to know her a little bit better. And then you go back into a world that knew you before, and you go,
Yeah.
right. So tell me, how did you stay connected to the you were uncovering?
Yeah, it, like I said earlier, it hit me like I should have seen it coming because of my past history with depression. But that being said, thankfully I had an amazing doctor and an amazing support system around me to help. Yes, I went the route of taking medication because it was like this out of body experience. It's like, in my heart of hearts, I knew this was not who I was, but someone else, like the devil, had taken over my body and my mind. And it was a horrible experience. And literally kind of crawling your way out of it, you start to see that like you said, the life I had before pre-kids, the like, do whatever I want, whenever I want. My whole world is my job and my husband and this and that and our friends. And that wasn't so anymore. And I had this little being that was counting on me. And I almost went, to be honest, the opposite direction, where now I went from not wanting my child to like control freak. Oh my God, I have to have everything just so and scheduled and a bit like Looney Tunes. But over time, over my mat leave and into having my second child, God, it was so apparent that the life that I thought that I wanted, whether it was because of my kids or all these hormone imbalances, made me recognize that this is not what I was meant. This is not my calling. And I remember sitting at Milestone's restaurant with a coworker on our lunch hour. And I said to her, I have this overwhelming desire to help people. I don't even know what that even means. It kept coming back to me, like, I just need to help people. And she was like, of course, well, I don't know how I can help you because I don't know what that means. Like, are you going to be a psychologist? Are you going to, like, what are you going to do? Right. I don't know. I just have, which is, links into my human resources background because it's all about people, but it wasn't giving me really the feel, right, of what I wanted. So the thing is that when you get these feelings that you're not being true to who you are, you have to honor them and you have to respect them and you have to explore them, because you can shut it off and go, no, I'm just going to stay on this path in the corporate world or do whatever. And this little voice is telling you like, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. And thankfully I listened, because over the last 12 years that I've been doing this, it's changed and evolved and morphed and I keep fine tuning it to be what I want. But I keep listening, right? I keep listening to myself, because you have this little voice in your head for a reason, right? And sometimes you got to listen.
And what's interesting? So one of the things you said, I think, directly connects to that that awareness, that truth for so many of us who are now listening, and will always tune into that voice and be like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to go do that now. To go back to that moment where you're like, I should have seen this coming. And so I had the same thing. I'm like, how is it that no one told me that the life I was living was going to create this fucking problem? I realized no one could have told me because I was not in a state to receive, but I was trying to tell myself and I couldn't hear myself because I didn't know how. And so I think about and go, should have seen it coming. Well, you probably did, but you didn't know how to listen to yourself in the process and to be able to go, oh, I feel something, and therefore I'm going to do something about that, as opposed to I know something. I can see it out in front of me, something, right? So it's fascinating that something that comes from your body teaches you how to connect with your body.
So wild. So incredibly wild.
Right. And I love that you found your way to listen to it. And I appreciate that moment of just being like with somebody and going, oh, this is happening. I have to like stuff like I don't know what it is, but it's
Yeah.
happening. And I don't even
Right.
know if you understand anything I'm saying, or if I'm speaking a completely different language. And I've got those looks for people like, oh,
Hmm.
oh, but what about the pension
Right.
and the your family
Right.
and what's so and so, who's he, what's it, who gives a fuck's gonna say, right? Like and sometimes those weren't even said out loud, but I would see people and
Oh
then make this
yeah.
assumption that that's what they're gonna say, and
Of
so
course.
then I would, I should just stay here.
Of course.
And of course, you listened at I don't know exactly at what time, but you listened in such a way where, and at a period of time where you were able to then use your knowledge, your connection, your joy to build something new. For a lot of us, the not listening, it takes its toll on you physically,
Oh
mentally,
yes.
and emotionally, and getting to a space where you have to unpack so much pain
Hmm.
just so that you can listen. And a lot of my clients are like, I don't know what you're talking about, the whole listening to myself, I don't know what
Yes.
that means. It's like, yeah, you just don't have, you haven't practiced it yet, so
Right.
it's
It's like
something
a
you gotta,
skill, right?
it's it's
You
like a
you
skill.
gotta develop it, and you gotta work at it, and you gotta reflect, and yeah. But I don't think it's okay to say, no, I'm good where I am. Knowing you feel like you're stuck, right? I'm also not okay
Right.
with that whole thing. Like I'm going to be in this job for whatever it is. I'm going to be in this job forever. I'm going to be at this weight forever. I'm going to be whatever the situation is. And I'm stuck where I am because this is what life threw at me. And this is,
Yeah.
this is the deal.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. I'm just not okay with that. It really bothers me when people, yes, change can take time. It can be scary. It can be overwhelming. But God, we only get
And
one kick at the can here.
that's right. And change is happening anyway, whether you choose to
True.
stay stuck in your own crap or not. The
Yeah.
change, like life is ticking along.
Right.
And I very much am familiar, especially with the more self-aware you become about choice and
Yes.
power and strength and capacity and potential. The more you look around and go, oh shit, like there's some people who, holy moly. And at the same time, everybody has to walk this path in their own time. And I think back again to
Absolutely.
myself, no one could have told me, because I was the master of my universe.
Right.
And although it was very small inside a little cinder block room universe, but I was the
Right.
master of it.
Right.
And I don't like to be told what to do, and I
Right.
don't need your help.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you happen to be one of those women who sees yourself as the I don't like to be told what to do and I don't need anybody's help person,
Yeah.
just saying that sometimes there's opportunities to feel empowered,
Yes.
to feel capable, and to be able to receive help without adding in this helplessness component.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how you've been incorporating your, I'll call it your intuitive knowledge, into your business. Like you said,
Yeah.
you've been doing it now for 12 years and it's been morphing and changing. What's that been like?
It's cool because I try, my clients, they come, at the beginning of the process, they come to me, whether it's, they think it's nutrition needs. I need to eat better. I need to exercise more, right? It's very basic surface, right? And they know how they want to feel. They know the results that they want. They know where they want to be, but they don't know how to bridge the gap, right? But it's still very black and white for them. If I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen, right? And then, I start asking questions that they're not anticipating, or that they didn't think there was a correlation, right? To, how they live their life and the food choices, for example, that they're making, or why they don't put their energy towards, exercising, moving their bodies. And there's, of course, a million and one excuses. And, one of the kind of core philosophies I go back to always, and I start at the beginning of this, and I have to remind them, what are you ready, willing, and able to do right now? What are you actually ready to do? Because we all say, oh, I'm ready to lose the weight and ready to like get in shape and be healthy. Are you? Are you actually ready? And what are you willing to do to get there? And what are you not willing to do? Because some people say, well, I'm not willing to do meal planning. Okay. Fair, right? But how do we kind of go around that obstacle? That's a big one, right? But what are you ready, willing, and able to do?
Those are brilliant questions. And even just that first question, you could spend 6 months in the first question.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And because being ready, there's an element of will, like showing up to something.
Yes.
But if the belief systems that you're running are counterintuitive to the desires that you have to learn to believe something new.
Yes.
So if, to say, okay, I'm ready, that means you're ready to let go of the woman that brought you here.
Right.
And you're ready to let go of all the crap that she has had to put up with. And you almost have to grieve the loss of what once was in order to be open to the new experience. And that's some deep shit. Like that.
It is.
That isn't like, you know what? I got this. Hold on. Let me grieving. Done. Okay.
Done. Moving on. Yeah. Moving on. Here, now eat this. Right. Like, which is why the first thing I do with clients is they fill out all these forms that really like give me a picture of who they are and what their story is. And I develop their story and I actually read it back to them. And I say, let me tell you your story. And they go, oh my God, holy. It's not everything that's happened in their past, but it's kind of where they're at and potentially how they got there. And because you have to acknowledge it. Like you said, you have to acknowledge that this is who I am. This is the reason I'm kind of where I'm at. And am I willing to let go of that? Right. In order to move forward. And some people are not. And that's fine because you're just going to be then fighting the process tooth and nail if you're not really ready. Right.
And I think what I noticed sort of a theme that was coming through what you had shared about your story is if you have to force it, it's not it.
Right.
And so same thing with any client or with yourself. If you feel like it's work, that's okay. Work is fun. Energy, effort, all those things, you got to show up to it to move something from your conscious mind into a habit that takes effort. But if you feel like you're going against your own grain, then that work of what are your values and what story are you running? Yes. And, I was just speaking to someone earlier today about narrative integration. So we tend to run very linear stories, right? Like this happened to me and this happened to me and this person didn't do this and this, and then here I am this person and these are my behaviors as a result of being this person from this problem. Right. And in reality, we are a meshwork, a matrix of experiences and perceptions and emotions. And we can at any point pick which point on the narrative we want to pick up that would then determine who we get to show up as. So, okay, yes, this did happen, but you know what else happened? This. And this person showed up for me in this way. And then I learned this. And now I'm much more aware of this. And I am the person who does this. Cool. It's all you. It is all you. Yeah. But you're not making this shit up because it's there. You just have to be willing to go and find it and then allow it to be the narrative that is your go-to, as opposed to the other one, which has just been so run for so many years. Right. And so that's where coaches like you come in and be like, okay, that's was and what is, and let's practice that story. Let's practice the behaviors that match this narrative, this timeline, right? Yes. So brilliant. And so crucial, coaching and all the other knowledge that you bring to the table. They're really just pieces of the puzzle that you get to help someone put together. Right. And but really it's what I love about it is you get to just show up and witness people being fucking awesome.
Honestly, I love being their cheerleader. Right. And I'm like, I feel like this mom, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Right. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Right. But when was the last time someone said like, I'm so proud of you? But then I say to them, are you proud of you? Are you proud of you? Because it doesn't matter if I'm proud of you. Right. Like, are you proud of yourself? Because look at where you've come. And I often reflect back because I look at that paperwork and go, remember when you used to eat M&Ms every day of the week? Right. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Remember when you used to only sleep 4 hours a night? Oh my gosh, like I can't believe the transition, right? They didn't believe, even though they sourced me out and they, hired me on and we went through the process. I don't know that they really truly believe that it would be different this time, because usually they've tried many things before, right? And I say tried, like we all tried, right? We didn't really try, because we're always looking for that magic, and that's why at the beginning, if you think this is going to be a quick bing bang in out process, you're in the wrong space, right? Because that's not what we're going for, like long term. I'm not saying you're going to need me in your life forever. That's not the goal either. But I want you to be able to like fly on your own and not then crash and burn, 6 months, a year, 10 years from now. We're arming you with the tools that you can take forever, regardless of what life throws at you. And that's why it has to be custom, right? That's why it has to be custom.
And that makes sense, because each person comes to you with a different set of belief systems and sort of rules they run. And,
Totally.
I always think about, like, the part of you that brought you here is the one that knows that you can do this. So the fact that you're even show up in the space means that part of you, your higher self that kind of sees you in all the parts of you that you negate and ignore, sees all of that and says, yeah, no, you can do this. Just listen to her. Like, let's let's do this.
Yeah.
And having the opportunity to practice thinking a new way, behaving a new way, responding a new way, and incorporating pieces and behavior. So it could be nutrition and exercise and anything else, but any behavior that you want to incorporate so that it becomes part of your life. Right. So, I was talking to somebody the other day we weren't talking about diets in particular, but about behaviors that we could sort of, okay, I'm going to go do this and then I'm going to get this result. Yeah. And whatever it is it something that you can see yourself doing a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Is it part of how you want to show up every day? If you don't want to work out every day, then don't. And build a life around what it is that you do want to see.
Exactly.
So, going down to movie nights with your kids and what hours you want to work during the day. And, I think about, so for me, I really love certain foods and I, in my future, want to see them still existing there. And so I build my life around all of that. So to have this and to have these other things that I also want to feel healthy and strong and standing in my power. So eating 400 of those things, maybe not great.
Right.
And so it's about building the life that you want and looking at all those building blocks. And so for you, you're kind of like the contractor.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I got the blueprints and I've got the schematics and I've got all the tools. Like, fucking giddy up. Like we're just, now we're going to pull these pieces together and build the house.
Right. But it's never a straight line to success, right?
No.
It doesn't just go just so. And that's,
no.
I'll have them texting me going, oh my God, I failed. I'm like, no, you didn't. This is part of the process.
Yes.
This is part of the process.
Like any contractor on a building of a house, it never goes with the way you
know.
So, hi, we've uncovered some leaky problems, infestations of sorts, and all kinds of limiting beliefs that are holding you back.
Weird. Doesn't mean you're not going to get your dream home still, right?
Yes. Just the path goes, wee.
Totally. Yeah, agreed. But if you know that going in, then you can better deal, right? When it happens.
Absolutely.
So you got to set the expectation up front, right?
Absolutely. I call it like informed consent.
Yes.
So I'm fully aware that this is not going to be a straight line. And what it is going to be is sustainable and effective and give me more of what I want in the long term. You know, as a society, we're so conditioned, not just because of the digital world, but really because of the speed of everything. But we're very conditioned to the immediate hits of dopamine, right? Like the immediate gratification. And so we can lose sight of the long-term gain from the small actions that may in the moment may not give us the big hit that we're hoping for. So that's very true when it comes to health and wellness, but it really is true for all things. And I find that the biggest thing, one of the biggest tools that we can impart on our client or to our clients, impart to, whatever, figure that out.
Whatever. It works.
Share with our clients is the power to connect back to why they do these things.
Yes.
And because if you can stay focused on your why, then doing the thing now that's kind of like, you do it because you're like, yay, I get to do
Right.
this. And so
Right.
then I can have that. And I want
Yes.
that forever. I'll do this
Yes.
now so I can have that forever.
Yes. Yeah.
Hard yes for me.
Hard yes for me too. Agreed.
Oh, Rhonda. Okay.
Okay.
So you had your journey was unique, and it has a lot of commonalities with so many women. What would you say was some of the biggest learnings for you coming through all of this into entrepreneur land and now
Mhm.
supporting women on their journeys as well?
I think that I want women to don't wait. Don't wait for Monday, the whole diet thing. I'll start on Monday. Don't wait for, when I retire, I'm going to do this. Or when the kids are gone, I'm going to do this. Whether we're talking, job change, moving, losing weight, I don't care what it is. Don't wait. Doesn't mean it needs to be done today, but start like putting things in motion to get to where you want to be, right? Put one foot in front of the other. Ask for help, right? Consult the experts, because we're not all experts in everything, right? We can't possibly be. But don't wait, and don't expect that things will magically get better with whatever you're kind of, struggling with right now. It doesn't magically get better. I've done it so many times where I'm like, if I just ignore it and let time pass, it's the magic, fairy godmother is going to come in and fix it for me. And then 3 months down the road, it's like, shit, I'm still here. What the hell am I doing? Right. But there's that accountability piece, right? That I help my clients with. There's a reason why I hired my own business coach, because we all need a kick in the ass every once in a while, and someone to hold us accountable and to stop us. Like, fear is huge, right? Fear of failure, fear of, well, what if it doesn't turn out the way just like I had just planned? But just keep moving, and don't feel like you're stuck whatever you're in, your, like I said, job, your weight, whatever it might be. And stop taking a back seat to your own life, right? Put it as a priority and put yourself back in the driver's seat and hit the gas. Jesus, go, right? You'll thank yourself.
Absolutely. And if that seems daunting to be able to do that, just
Totally.
I attended a workshop on self-worth, and what was really clear for me is a lot of people giving very similar advice, but if you can't even get there, then that's the work that needs to be done to be able to put yourself first. That is the and when you do that, you actually create ease in all the other things you're wanting to accomplish. Weird.
Yes.
Right. So
weird.
It's what you're perceiving is like, I can't get this done. I'm having problems with my body. I'm having problems at work. I'm having problems in my relationships. I'm having all these problems. And then, you try to fix them all individually or maybe even collectively. And, oh, weird, it's not fucking working.
Right.
Then you have to go back down to that root and connect to, have I been putting myself first? Do I believe that I am deserving of being first?
Yes.
Because I think, one of the ahas for me having kids, because initially it puts you last, right? Kid first, everything kid first, kid first, kid first, kid first.
Yep.
And then it's almost like a slap in the face, like, yeah, you've been actually putting yourself last forever and just sort of taking it. And now I look and go, oh, but I'm actually not serving her. I have daughters. To be last, I need to be first so that I can give her the most. Oh, fucking, there's an aha moment, right? So, whatever gets
that's why totally. When I'm chatting with my clients, it's funny because we'll end up diving into things that they never anticipated we're, talking about, right? It's not about food, it's not about exercise, it's not about sleep, it's not about stress. It's like, and sometimes I'll just say, like, because you get to know them, right? And what their ins and outs in their daily lives. And sometimes I'll just say, like, when was the last time you did something for you? You went and got your nails done. I don't care, whatever it might be, whatever you like or liked to do, because you don't even know what that is anymore because you haven't done it for so long. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then they're like, I don't really know what role that plays. Well, because you're not even taking care of yourself. You're like this robot that's going through all, the motions, and you haven't stopped to put yourself first and to recognize that, like you said, there's a ripple effect and then you will be able to serve those around you better. And then they come back and go, guess what? I went last week and I did this and I'm like, and they're like glowing, right? It's like the smallest, it's not like you flew off to Africa for the week. Like you took this small thing and look at how energized you are. And that creates momentum, right? And you build from that momentum. But and women, we do that all the time. It's like I had to completely lost my mind in my family last weekend because it's just like selfish, self-serving. I want this, it's all about me. And I'm like, enough. Right? Like none of you are hard done by in this household. And I was guilty of putting everyone first. Is everyone okay? It's like, I don't even care if you're all okay. I need to make sure I'm okay, because right now I'm not okay. And therefore you are not okay because I am not okay. Right.
That's exactly
and you have those moments and you reflect, but yeah.
It's huge when we can see
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. What is upsetting us on the outside, usually in other people, it starts here, right? And I just wanted to say that this
totally
made me think of, if you continue to do the work that you think you are supposed to do to get better without doing the work that you need to do, then you're just shitting on yourself even more, right? So the world is shit all over us, and then here we are going, well, I'm doing the diet thing or the meal planning, and I'm eating the things, and yet I, for some reason, still feel blocked. I don't feel whole. I don't feel connected. It's because you're shoulding. So, I should go and do these things, and I should. Whew.
Yes.
Danger bay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's why I say to people, like, the goal is weight loss, right? It's like, what's going to be different when you're down 30 pounds? What's actually going to be different, other than the fact that you have less fat on your body, right? Because there has to be a shift here, right? Yeah. Not just in the physical, right? So you have to, it's exactly what you're just saying, but it's so fascinating when you see the shift starting to happen. And then your clients are surprised by it. They're like, there's this like new thought process happening in my life, in my brain. And I'm like, yes, right. And it's exciting because they have not been there before, right? And it's exciting. It's so much more. It's so big. It's so vast, and you can't. It's not just change this, get that, right? You have to be willing to do the work. Yeah. Right. And it's awesome and so rewarding when you see the work pay off. It's very cool.
So is there anything coming up for you in the next little bit? Or ways that people can get in touch with you if they feel very sparked to connect more fully?
Yes. Yes. I have a few things coming up. 2021, I think, is going to be a big year for me and the direction of my business. I am looking at, right now I do one-on-one coaching. I'm thinking about doing some small group coaching as well. I'm finding that right now, the women that I'm chatting with are feeling very isolated. Even if they're not literally isolated, like they don't live at home by themselves, but they feel in the whole process of life, just feeling alone. And having the dynamic of a group of women that can really just empower each other is super exciting for me. So I'm exploring that. So stay tuned for that. I've been doing some different speaking engagements, which is really cool, because I'm just trying to get across the fact that we need to just end this like roller coaster of shitty self-care, right? And just stop it once and for all. So different speaking engagements coming up. What else? Oh, I'm going to be launching an online course as well, which is going to be coming in the next 6 months or so, that people can help, sort of navigate through on their own. But I will be there in video for encouragement, because I don't love just like, here's your course and here's your plan and good luck, right? I still want that partnership with people, and people feel like they have a cheerleader. So that's coming down the pipe as well. So lots of really cool things coming up. Again, I said earlier, kind of the funnel, right? I'm always zeroing in on where I can have the biggest impact to empower the women that are like, they're all in, they're ready. They're ready to do the work with me. And so trying to, figure out how to speak to those people is really my focus, so I can help as many as I can. So awesome. Some great things coming. So my website, RhondaArmourCoaching.com, check it out. I offer a complimentary consultation. No pressure to commit to anything. Just a chat. A chat.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Rhonda. Thank you for your time and for your fun
Thank you.
songs and for this really, really great conversation. And I look forward to all of the amazing things that you are working on. It's such an important, it's important to be able to offer you in a way that people are able to take it in, especially now that the world is much more digital. So for the people who are looking for more
Absolutely.
independent work, or they looking for that group connection or that solid one-on-one, I mean, it's awesome that you are diversifying that way. So fantastic.
Yes,
I look forward
options
to that.
for everybody.
Yes,
Thank you.
fantastic. So for anybody who's listening who would like to continue this amazing conversation with us and with all of my guests from the podcast, then please hop over to Facebook and join us in the Busy Women Being Awesome Club, and let us know what some of your big ahas were from today's episode. So talk to you soon.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join Dion again next week to learn more about what you can do to go from hot mess to awesomeness.